What's up, guys? SDSU playing some more global poker. We're gonna play some 1-2 today again, and just go over, my thought process. Um, I know some people were wanting me to go over ranges and things like that, but I'll do that in a later episode where I go ahead and record my session and then use a voiceover. So for these sessions, I'm basically just going to be mentioning what's going through my head. We're going to go over, reads, player types, what I think of them, how they're playing, um, if the card is good or bad for me or myself or them, play against their styles, and hopefully win some money. So sorry that the analysis isn't going to be as good as if I were, you know, stopping it, not playing while I'm trying to commentate, but hopefully my thought process and what your guys' thought process, depending on your skill level, should be, um, you know, I don't have that same sort of thought process of like, oh, this card or this is my range and this is better for my range, and I'm more about playing against their player types. I already know what's standard in a lot of these different scenarios. I could probably bet less here. He paused for a second and called. I think we're probably going to give up here. And he probably has like ace high or something like that. 10-3, bottom pair. Okay, just make note of that. Called with 10-3, suited in big blinds. So other people were also mentioning, they don't really like the notes that I take, and pros take better notes. Just kind of ridiculous that that's not what I'm looking to do. What I'm looking to do is just get a general feel for them, and then we can make more specific notes later. But when we're playing against these people for such a short amount of time, I don't really need one specific hand that they play. It's more about how they're playing in that specific moment, and what making sure I figure out how good of a player they are. If they're going to be leveling me or they're going to be adjusting, etc. That's much more important than how they played a specific hand and a specific flop on a specific against a specific player. It's just not that interesting to me. All right, so let's focus up here. Dead money. Didn't bet with top pair 10-9 off. Called on button. Okay, super aggro with bet sizing. Super aggro with bottom set sizing on fairly dry board. So seems like he's a little bit passive slash aggro when he hits. Just played a hand against that guy. Got the same guy. And yeah, so some of the things that were mentioned, like what is my channel for education or entertainment. Um, my whole the whole point of my channel is, if you're a 200 no limit player, seeing how other 200 200 no limit regs play. If you're somebody under that, what does the next level look like compared to yourself? And I also, play 500 no limit as well. And then, utilize the things that I do well. And I think it's a great learning tool compared to just watching one of the top tier pros that are just cutting every corner and playing a little bit more risky and making much better reads and playing a much more balanced style. You really don't need to be playing a balanced style if you're not that great, because you're just opening up yourself to too many vulnerabilities. And I mean, I hate the word GTO because GTO isn't known, so it's kind of a useless term to be like, oh, I should play GTO style. We're gonna lead out here. I don't really want to check call with the gutter. I don't really think he's gonna re-raise here. He might, but we could take it down here. It's a little bit of scary flop for him if he doesn't have a jack. And I mean, he's a short. Oh, I thought he was a short stacker. Yeah. I like this play a little bit better against somebody who's a little bit worse, because that is not something that you should be leading into a razor too many times. But I thought that in that scenario, um, it made a little bit of sense, just because I didn't want to play that out of position. I didn't want to re-raise him on the flop. I didn't want to just call and then get to the river with 10 high. So, in any of these scenarios, every decision is pretty fairly close in terms of what's going to make you the most amount of money. Unless I say it's pretty obvious, you can fold, 7-9 suited, and it's not that big of a deal. Okay, this is that guy that called with 10-3, and then I checked down. Bits 4x. Let's go ahead and re-raise him. I'm just gonna get it in. Okay. So I checked back on turn. I could bet. I don't really want to get re-raised. We hit 2 pair here. It's an insta call. But we're gonna time down for a second. He could easily have a flush here, but king's also likely. 2-5 for a bluff. We probably would have called the river even if we didn't hit 2 pair there. Maybe. It's either he has it or he doesn't. And he's not betting all the kings. And obviously I don't know what his frequencies are yet because I don't have any notes, and I'm just saying a regular player at these stakes aren't going to be what their ranges are going to look like until I get a better feel for the player themselves. I just assume they're playing pretty standard. Obviously, I'm always going to lean on the side of caution if I can. And with Farm Slicer, I was going to get in with queens there just because, I mean, anytime it's my second hand. Number one, he already called with 10-3 suited. And then the second time I raise him, basically, he's in the blinds. He re-raises, and I mean, with that frequency of call, re-raise, I think Queen's pretty good. If he would have just folded before, I would have been a little bit more cautious. I think this is we could re-raise, but let's just not play back because we just did. And this kind of goes back to the rhythm of the match. I actually don't mind re-raising here because I have some back doors. I can hit a 6-5 or 4. We get him to fold a lot. He shouldn't be re-raising me too late on the flop. And I'm trying to figure out like the appropriate reasoning behind what I'm doing, but I guess it's kind of just a feel thing as well. I could bet here. I could fold. Let's go ahead and fold and stay on the side of safety. I don't really know this player, so we'll just go ahead and fold. Queens again. Very nice. Hopefully we bet. Hopefully this guy. Let's see here. Okay, since this guy, I'm just gonna call here, hoping this guy squeezes. Okay. Fuck. Sometimes it doesn't work. I probably shouldn't do that with queens, but I was really hoping he would have sent some weakness from me here. We're gonna raise this up. That's not a good card, just because we're not gonna get paid off by as many things. I do think that I'm fairly ahead. That is also a very bad card for us because I mean, not even just talking about ranges, just talking about like it's just not a good card for our hands to. He could be betting with the jack here. Um, Most likely has maybe a king or something like that. He could have a bluff. I think we have to call. Ooh, that is a nice hand. A club on the river would have been not fun. I was really hoping for squeeze from farm, but it didn't happen. And obviously, these are very my reads are changing dramatically as each hand is being played. If they're raising 100% of hands in the first 6 hands, I think they're going to be pretty aggro, right? But then as they start folding more and more, I'm like, okay, they're not as aggro as I thought they were. Let's go ahead and check back this since 10 Jack is right in his calling range for a small blind. He could easily have a pocket pair or something along those lines. He could have a lot of hands here. I don't think I'm ahead of much. We'll just go ahead and check. We hit our 7, so hopefully he has like 5s, 6s, 3s, or deuces. He's taking quite a long time, so not sure exactly what that means, but we're checking back. So he had okay, 4. He's thinking about bluffing his bottom pair, which is interesting. Called with 4-5 suited in small blind. Thought about bluffing river with bot pair. Question mark. Yeah, against that ace-8 hand, you can trap every once in a while. It's much better to do it with like kings or aces, obviously. Kings specifically, but I mean aces will, but because it's more likely they'll have an ace high hand. Let's see here. I kind of like a raise in this spot. I probably should have raised 15 there. I don't want to bloat it up too big with pocket 8s. This guy stabs a lot. Oops, I already have a note on this guy on here. Stabs a lot, then folds. And the reason why we checked back flop there was because I thought he was going to take a stab on the turn here, and we're going to raise for value. And so my read's pretty accurate on this guy. He likes to stab a lot, kind of give up. So he's like a somewhat weak aggro of a player. Those are the best players to play against, but I think he's a little bit better than what you know, a typical weak aggro player is. Um, just by, you know, him timing down and things like that, his stack size, etc. Usually, bad weak aggro players don't retop back off. Okay, I think I'm going to half pot this. Obviously, this is better for my range as the pre-flop aggressor. I don't think I really need to go into too much detail there. If you don't understand why, I'm more than happy to do some coaching sessions or make a video on it, or, you know, something along those lines. But if I'm raising and they're calling, typically have better hands than what they're calling with, right? That's the general rule of thumb. Ace high flops are good for that. Drier the flop is good for that, and so on. But again, that's not really the way I think. Like, I have that in the back of my head subconsciously. Um, I'm more focused on everything else that I need to be figuring out during the hand. I could better fold this. So that's kind of the difference. What I'm talking about in these videos is what I'm thinking about in real time. And I know that might not be as educational to you in a teaching sense, but this really gives you a better idea of like what you should be thinking about when you're playing. And you shouldn't be thinking about, oh, what's my range here? Oh, should I be calling? Like, you should already know that, like, through experience, through playing, through and so you can make adjustments. You can focus on other things. I think this guy had raised us that previous time. Oh, I can't even remember. I'm not sure if this was the guy or not. Farm Slicer. I think we're calling here. He does like to stab a lot, but I do think this is him actually having a decent hand. 7-6 suited is a nice hand to be trying to stack somebody off with. He continuations bets here. We're just gonna let it go. Corb on the cob raised again, and we're going to do the same thing with our 8-7 suited. I'm just kind of attacking these players that are weak aggro. He does call fairly quickly. We're going to continuation bet. I don't expect this to get through too often, but if he is a bad player, he'll fold a lot here. And we're just going to have to fold, unfortunately. I typically don't, again, like to re-raise somebody twice in a row without some sort of hand, so that was a little bit loose, but I thought he was being a little bit, getting out of line a little bit. This farm slicer guy really bets a lot and gives up. Get a... What the hell is this? 3-bet to 3, full to 4-bet. 3 raised me 8, 8 to 20, and check called down. I don't really mind shit them out. He'll slow play. This doesn't make too much sense to me. We'll pot control. Ace rolls off. And then I think him... I really wanted to value bet here, but good thing I didn't. And good thing that ace came. So it's an interesting way to play jacks. Not that it was necessarily very good or very bad, but okay. If I were him with jacks there, I think I'm re-raising myself a lot. I think that somewhere he needs to be betting, possibly. Like on the turn maybe, or flop, or... Yeah, that was a weird way to play jacks. Not that great of a session, guys, so far. Didn't get value for with queens. Second queens, we tried to slow play and backfired. Eights, we got crushed. I made a bluff with ace 8 suited, and that got owned. A lot of our other plays against Farm Slicer has worked, though. We didn't hit anything on our 7-6 suited in that 3-bet pot, and there's nobody at our player that's playing overly bad. They're all playing fairly tight with the people that don't have notes, that I don't have notes on. Corb on the cob raises here. I think I'm 3-betting him again with king queen offsuit. He does not. He sits out middle of the hand or middle of the table. Okay. And then oh, it looks like he just timed out. Excuse me. So that farm placer guy is really stabbing a lot, but I don't think he's that bad of a player at all. Sab's here with an $8 bet after, I would assume, he 3-bet Mirror Mountain. Okay. Mirror Mountain call folds to a fairies. Called 3-bet. And these regulars, you know, I'm not really going after them. So I haven't played that many hands against them specifically. And they usually don't get to showdown. But you know, the more aggro the player they are, the better of a read you're gonna get on them. If they're without a HUD, if they're pretty tight, you know, I'm not gonna have any notes. I'm not really knowing how they're gonna be playing hands. But at the same time, it's not gonna matter as much. So Well, sorry for the slow session today here, guys. We'll call with Queen 6 just because of how aggro this guy is. We're going to check raise the flop, obviously. We're going to time down like usual. Hopefully he has an ace here. It's just not that much he could get away from if he does. I've 3-bet him like every flop so far. And he's really done the same thing every time so far, which is unfortunate. Hmm. I think I have to 3-bet this and give up if he, or sorry, 4-bet this and give up if he shoves on me. Let's do 5. Let's do 12. And I think we're actually gonna have to go with it now because we're gonna have to raise fairly large. Fuck, this is not a fun spot for me. I really don't want to get it in with ace queen here. Oh man. Okay. Can I fold here? I think I can. $143. Tens jacks, not too likely. Ace queen, not too likely. Ace jack, not too likely. Oh my god. Well, that wasn't fun. I think I call if one of these two guys go with their hands, but not if this guy goes with his hand. That was a waste of money. Obviously re-raising this guy since he's just being way too over aggro. And he gives up very easily. Man. Just not my day. Some days just not your day, you know? That's how that goes. I don't think we're actually down too much looking at this, so not the worst thing. Maybe down 120, but that hurt. Yeah. Oh. I don't really like calling with ace queen there, even though I can. Maybe I should have just folded ace queen. I do. Okay, let's think about this. Farm slicer's 4-betting way too late, right? We know that. Tiny pockets just overcalls. We don't really know what to make of that, but I would say it's not too bad. I mean, his range isn't just aces or just kings or etc. When dead money shoves over the top instantly, and these two instantly fold. I mean, his hand's just so strong, right? Like, does he ever have jacks there or worse? Does he ever have ace queen there or worse? It's super aggro with bet size and super aggro with bot set. Yeah, I think that's how he would play aces or kings. So I think we got away with just losing what we lost. Unfortunate. Kings here. Are we going to be able to redeem ourselves? Let's see a raise here. A 3-bet, a call. It just never happens that way, huh? Probably should time down a little bit more. Not a good flop for me. We are going to bet small here. Just in case he will fold. Fours here. We'll just go ahead and call. And then we'll finish up our rounds here and call it a video wrap. So if you guys do want to give me any constructive criticism, instead of just saying, you know, what's the point of your video, blah, 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 just say, hey, what are you looking to see? I would like to see this. Could you slow down more here? Maybe explain certain hands. That'd be great. And I've explained myself like, you know, a lot of times now that I'm just kind of going over my thoughts so that you guys can get a good idea of what a 200 no limit player thinks. And let's just go ahead and there's a much different scenario here. We have ace queen. I think we just call. We don't really want to get it in with ace queen here. I should probably time down a little bit more than that. So we're just gonna play this hand very slow. Anytime you're playing a 3-bet pot, just take your time. I think we're definitely calling one here and seeing how it goes. Should we re-raise? We could. I don't think it's that bad, but let's just go ahead and call. That's not a good card for us as we don't have a heart in our hand. We'll check it back. He checks. And then we're definitely going to have to bet here. Basically everything gets there. And we're going to be bluffing that card, even if we had nothing there some of the time. As it doesn't look like he has a flush. And I don't think he's bluffing the river either after checking back the turn. And then more stuff gets in there. So was hoping for maybe a set, ace king, something along those lines to get called down by, but didn't happen. So well, that'll wrap it up here, as well as for this hand. So looks like we lost about 100 or lost about 80 bucks or so. Not too bad considering the runouts and everything like that. Again, this is SDSU. Hope you guys like it. You know, tune in every day. Please upvote for more visibility so that people can watch this. Leave comments on what you do want me to explain more instead of just saying what I'm doing or not doing. And hopefully, you know, over time, you know, if you're doing something every day, if you're watching somebody every day, you're going to be able to pick up a lot of things if you just keep working at it. So thanks a lot, guys, for tuning in, and talk to you soon. Bye.